even if you are in the same category and technically competing against one another, everybody here is really supportive of one another, and particularly to those who are new to it.
That's right, and it's all kind of around the ethos of the event. This isn't an event just for the elite athletes who've trained incredibly hard for this. It's part of a festival of events. So we have a number of competitions that you can get involved with as a regular paddler, but we'll pick that up in a minute after this run from Denise. So she's just dropping in now with a little entry one, managing to retain the hole and just moving back over to that right-hand side of the feature to set up for her next trick. Looking like she's going for a loop. Cool. So apologies for any technical problems we had earlier in the live stream. We think they're mostly sorted now, and we'll continue to work on them as we go through the event. Hopefully you'll also be able to see the live replay as that's posted on the Planet Canoe YouTube channel. So up next we have Rachel Kenny from Ireland. She put down a good first ride, getting some points on the board, and she'll be looking to improve on it on this one. So she's dropping into the feature now, going for an entry one, managing to retain the hole. Really, really solid start, and she's going to be moving over to that right-hand side of the feature to set up for her next trick. Little bit of a power flip there, and plugging for a loop. She's going to be moving over to the right-hand side again to set up. Again, that's where most of the athletes are doing their tricks today, just because it's that much more stable and there's that much more chance to stay in.
She's giving a wave. She's not going to make it back up in time. So and she knows she actually scored more points in her first ride. So she's going to take her first ride score of 30 points.
So just going back to some of the other events that we have in the competition, for everybody to come and join. If you're a Nottingham local, then come and join for the Flatwater Freestyle, taking place today and tomorrow at the Winfield Pool. There's also a downriver freestyle competition, world's biggest loop, and synchro freestyle. All the information is available on the ICF website. Feel free to come down. We're still taking entries. Come and speak to one of the team members, and they'll be able to point you in the direction of the accreditation office who'll be able to sign you up. With that, we've got Nuria dropping into the hole, just surfing around again, opting to take the entry from the bottom eddy. I think she just finds it a bit more stable. She's probably used to it from training. She's going for a McNasty now, managing to stay in. She's got the opportunity to do some more tricks.
Yeah, I saw Nuria just after one of her training sessions a couple of days ago, and she was absolutely stoked because she'd just worked out how to McNasty in her C1. So I know she's looking to show that to the crowd today. Unfortunately, just flushing out of the feature, trying to make her way into the eddy as quickly as she can because she has just 10 seconds left, and she needs to get herself back into the feature if she wants to score some points on this ride.
Yeah, very strong paddler. Looks like she's just going to make it back in time, but I don't think enough time to pull any more tricks, unfortunately. So that'll be it for Nuria.
Okay, next up we have our only French paddler in this semi-final. The French have a really strong C1 kind of history, and in the men's category they are always strong contenders for the podium. So they've got themselves a strong paddler here in the ladies C1 as well. So Sozik will be dropping in from above.
Yeah, just making her way into the judges' eddy. She'll be waiting for the thumbs up from Shep, our chief judge, supported by his wonderful team of 3 grade A ICF judges. They go through a lot of training to make it to this event, and so she's just dropping into the hole now. She did a nice little entry one, managing to stay retained and moving over to that right-hand side to set up for her next trick. Plugging for a loop, unfortunately flushing on it. We're going to go her back up into the eddy. She's got plenty of time, so we'll see some more tricks for her in this ride.
Yeah, the French on the side, I don't know if you can hear it on the live feed, maybe not, but the French are cheering loud and strong. That is something you see often from the French team. They have a really strong supporting crew with them, and the athletes are all really encouraging each other. Unfortunately just flushing there, but it looked like that loop was going to get a really big pop. Unfortunately not quite completing in the feature to get those points from the judges.
Yeah, and it's just worth mentioning again that this is a historic category. This is the first time that there has ever been a women's C1 World Championships event.
Yeah,
right?
it's just super exciting. It's really cool to be part of this and to see these ladies really stepping up when actually this is a new category for almost everyone here. Has only been doing C1 quite a short amount of time because the category's only just been brought into existence.
Yeah, it was one of the blessings almost of COVID because I believe initially the plan wasn't to have it in the 2021 Worlds. We got postponed for a year, and now we've had the ability to host this event. So we have bib number 66, Beebin Butler, just dropping in now to the hole, surfing around, looking for her first move.
Yeah, she's our current leader with 250 points in her first ride, which is an amazing score, but she was looking to do more. I know we saw her, she put down a really nice McNasty and a big loop in her first ride, but she was also looking for that offside McNasty, which was really close, and it'd be super impressive to see her do that. So I'm excited for Bevan hopefully making it into the finals, because I would love to see a showdown between her, Otty and Tamsin.
Yeah, she's just making her way back up into the hole. She's got 7 seconds. She might have time to throw in one last trick. We'll have to see. Just getting caught a little bit on the eddy line and unfortunately plugging the boat just as the buzzer went.
Oh, but she's got a big smile on her face. She knows that 250 points from her first ride is a really strong showing. We do have a second heat of ladies, 5 more ladies to come, so she is not secure yet. We need to see what those ladies do in the second heat. And if all of those ladies were to score more than 250 points, unfortunately we wouldn't be seeing Bevan in the final. But I do think she really has laid down a pretty solid ride there. She's stepped it up, and she's really sort of set the tone for what the ladies in the second heat need to do.
Yeah, exactly. So we have 5 competitors who will be in the next heat. We have Lucia Hacker from Germany, Rebecca Green from Great Britain, Annika Sasha from Germany, Tamsin McConkey from Great Britain, and Ottilie Robin Shaw from Great Britain as well. So we have quite a star-studded lineup. We'll see how it goes. I think we should just take a little bit of time to thank all the people who've put this event on. There are a lot of volunteers that have made this event work, not only the workforce who are on site today, but also the event organising committee. You have Jacko Jackson, the event director, Josh Wedgwood, just to name a few names, and a massive team that have brought this event together.
Oh, a huge team, yeah. And around the event site, you can see lots of people dressed in bright orange T-shirts, and those guys are all volunteers that are helping to make this event run smoothly. And it's sort of another real sort of great indicator of the community around our sport, that there's so many people willing to pitch in and just with just the idea of trying to make this event as good as possible, really.
Yeah, and that could also not be possible without all of the fantastic partners that have worked with the host organising committee to make this event happen. So a special thank you would like to go to the International Canoe Federation, who make this event happen every year, the Holm Pierpont Country Park, which is the host venue, who kind of look after the site, and the site team here have been very facilitating in making sure that we can set up the best possible event. We have the principal partner, Direct Business Solutions. We have Erdinger, the beer, Jaffa Oranges, one of the principal partners for British canoeing, Gill, Aquapack, EcoWorks Marine, Nottinghamshire County Council, Visit Nottinghamshire, and Nottingham City Council. There are many, many people who've supported this event all the way from the initial bids in 2016.
Yeah, that's right, and it really does take a whole army to make an event like this happen. And we are not an Olympic discipline. There's not a lot of money in this sport, so really without those sponsors and supporters and all those volunteers, we really do mean it when we say this event could not happen without them.
I think we can see the German flag out. Really strong contingent for whenever one of their team members is competing. They certainly get behind them, and it's one of the strongest teams here, right?
That's right. Yeah, they really are, and they always are. Yeah, they're a really strong freestyle community. And they are hosting, actually, one of the upcoming World Championships. So our next World Championships is over in America next year, because we obviously this is a year late. So we're going back to our usual schedule of having World Championships in the odd years. So, 2023 is going to see us over in America. And then, Germany are hosting in Plattling. They actually did have a World Championships a few years ago, back in 2011. But 2025 we'll be back in Plattling, which is an awesome feature.
I think we're just seeing a few highlights from yesterday's event, I believe. So you can see there the OC1 competition. We saw some very, very strong rides, particularly from Landon Miller, I believe, who took
It's
first
absolutely
place.
incredible what they can do in those huge boats that fill up with water. It really does blow my mind that they can make those boats fly into the air the way they do.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. I mean, they all have to be tested before they're allowed to compete, and they have to be able to hold 40 litres of water, aka 40 kilograms. And freestyle boats aren't particularly heavy. They're, 10 kilograms or so? So I can't imagine competing with all of that weight sloshing about, making life a bit more
honestly,
difficult.
if I get water into my boat, it really impacts how I paddle. And so, I'm getting out straight away and emptying my boat out just from having maybe half a litre of water in my boat, perhaps, maybe a litre. Yeah. So I cannot imagine having several litres of water weighing you down and sloshing about in there as you're trying to make the boat do tricks.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and it just kind of goes to show the skill of all these athletes. It's also worth mentioning that, for most people here, it's not the main thing they do. They're not usually professional athletes. They also have day jobs, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And it just adds to the just how impressive it is that they managed to fit in all this training around their kind of normal lives and really achieve such incredible levels of skill and talent in this sport. Yeah,
it takes real dedication. Because, obviously, like I said, there's not a lot of funding available for us in this discipline. And so these athletes not only are sort of fitting their training in around their work or school life, but they're having to fund everything themselves as well, so which probably means that they're having to do additional work in order to fund this sport that they love so much. But what it does mean, of course, is that if you're going to be paddling at this level, then you're going to have a really strong love and dedication for it. And I think that's one of the things that really brings people together here.
Yeah, we've just been, talking a little bit yesterday, and I'm sure we will talk about it more today, but the community spirit here is incredible. I mean, it's been an opportunity for everybody to reconnect with their friends who they haven't seen for, really 2-3 years since we had our last big international event. And there are so many stories of just people helping other people out, just out of the goodness of their heart. It's not a competition where everybody's kind of, locked horns and kind of...
No, absolutely
There's
not.
no nastiness to it at all. It's all very, very positive, and that's what we like to see.
And that's really what makes people come back again and again as well. Some of us here, myself included, have been competing in freestyle for many years. My first event was back in 2001, which is, yes, I know, Alex, a long time ago, and back as a junior. And that first event was really life-changing for me because I just had the best time, and I met so many people from all over the world. I made so many new friends, and it just opened doors for me to experience so many new things, to be able to travel and meet new people. I mean, it really has sort of set the path of my life. And so it's really cool being here once again, and especially for me, seeing the juniors and seeing them have that same experience, making those international friendships. And it's just a beautiful thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, similar story for myself, although I only competed at one World Championships in Argentina in 2017, and it really did just set kind of the groundwork for me to go forward, and it's wonderful to be part of the community still, and just providing these experiences for everybody, because it's a wonderful event and you learn an incredible amount from taking part in the World Championships.
Oh, you really do, don't you? So the next heat is on at 9:30, so we've just got a couple of minutes until they kick off. And in that heat, so the second round of this ladies C1 semi-final, we are going to see Lucia Hacker from Germany, Rebecca Green from the UK, Annika Schauger from Germany, Tamsin McConaughey from the UK, and Otty Robinson-Shaw also from the UK. So this round we're going to have 3 British paddlers and 2 German paddlers fighting it out for those top 5 spots. But remember, Bevan Butler from Ireland has put down an incredible 250-point score. So it's unless everybody in this second round of the semi-final manages to score more than that 250 points, we're definitely going to be saying goodbye to one of those 5 paddlers, I should imagine. And then in current second place, we have Denise from from Austria, with 80 points. So we're going to have to see how these ladies paddle in this second round. They have 2 rides and their best ride score counts. So what do you think we're going to see in this second round of the semi-finals then?
I think we're going to see the scores go up.
Oh, I think we are, for sure.
Particularly with Otty and Tamsin, they put down some really, really solid rides. I think we saw a combined score of 800, approximately 800 points for Otty yesterday. So she'll be looking to match that, at least in a single ride context. So she'll be looking for around that 400-point mark. I'm sure her personal goal will be higher.
Oh, for sure.
Knowing her.
Yeah, she's very ambitious, and that's one of the things that's really nice about watching Otty compete. She has her own goals. Of course, she loves the bling, she loves the gold, but actually the biggest thing she's doing is she's competing against herself. So she sets herself some scores that she'd like to achieve, and that's what she's looking for.
Lucia just going for an entry 3 there. She's managing to retain the hole, which means she can set up for her next trick. She's just moving backwards to that right-hand side of the feature so she can set up for a nice loop. Getting a bit of air on it, which is good. That means some extra points go on the board. She's going to be moving back over to that right-hand side to set up. Looking very cool, calm and collected.
Yeah, she's it might look a little different because she's got her paddle on her left-hand side, which means that's why she's having to sort of reverse her way over to that far side. So these C1 paddlers, of course, they've only got that one blade, and it's up to you which side you hold it on. You are allowed to switch hands if you like to, but not everyone likes to do that. Some people prefer to keep a hold of their paddle whilst they're in the feature, which I think is actually quite fair enough. But we will see some of these paddlers switching their paddle from one side to the other, and which does help with doing some of the tricks.
She'll have a second ride to come around and try and improve on that. It's just going to be her best ride to count.
Okay, next paddler up from the UK, we have Rebecca Green. She's based down in Lee Valley. She works at the shop and in reception there, which gives her the opportunity to get out on the water plenty. She's literally just been doing her A-level, so she had her last A-level exam just literally last week. So a lot of the kids here from all of the nations have been having it's exam season, isn't it? So they've been trying to juggle their training and exams. So Becky going in with that, looking for that entry 3. See what the judges say about that. Making her way over to that shoulder, looking to plug for a nice big loop. That looks certainly big and straight from where I was sitting. I'm sure that's going to score her plenty of points from the judges. Looking now for that McNasty, trying to pull it around, unfortunately taking a bit of a flip and a flush. So she'll be looking to use this last 17 seconds to make her way up the eddy and back into the feature.
Yeah, she's looking really strong and powerful. She wants to get back in before the clock expires. And it looks like she's just about going to be able to make it. Maybe throw one trick, but we'll see.
Oh, unfortunately, the buzzer going just as she crossed over. She's got a big smile on her face. Currently says 133.33. So that 0.33 comes from the fact that we average out the 3 judges' scores that are sitting here. So all 3 judges call out the moves as they see them, and then the score is averaged out. So if a move is slightly borderline meeting a definition, it might mean that maybe 1 or 2 of the judges give it, 1 of the 2 of them don't, and then the score is averaged out, which is quite nice because it means then you get sort of a partial score for that kind of borderline trick. Okay, so I think Becky's score 136. It's gone in as, remember, these scores not fully signed off yet. As at the end of the semi-finals, our head judge will give the thumbs up to the whole score. So nothing's absolutely definite yet, but this looks like sort of the most likely scoring and most likely ranking.
Annika just dropping in, going for an entry 2. Unfortunately, Flushing, she's going to be making her way back up to the feature. She's been around the scene for a little while. She was 5th place in the 2019 World Championships in K1 Junior Women. She's now made the transition to C1, which is the case for many of these athletes here today. Because it's a new category.
Nice
lovely
loop there.
Lovely, very straight, which is an important criteria that the judges are looking for. The trick has to land within 20 degrees of upstream. Another loop, lots of air, making sure she gets those points on the board. She's just looking to move to the right-hand side of the feature now, trying to set up. Looked like she was trying to set up for another McNasty, but unfortunately not managing to get the edge of her boat to catch and start to lift out the water. But that'll be a very, very solid run for Annika, and she'll be looking to improve on it on the second ride. So just a reminder for how this competition works. We're in the semi-final round now, so all of these athletes have already made it through 1 round. And they're now fighting for a place in the finals. So they have 2 runs, best run count, correct?
That's right, yeah. And so the final is top 5. We've already had a heat of 5 paddlers go, so you can see the scores down the side there. We have a joint leader with Bevan from the first heat, and then that ride we just saw there from Annika has matched that score of 250. But now we have Tamsin, who was 2nd in the preliminary round we had yesterday with a couple of really strong rides. Tamsin looking strong out there. She's competing in both the C1 and the squirt boat category and actually finished 2nd in both those categories yesterday in the preliminary rounds. So today she has the semi-finals for both of those categories once again. So she'll be dropping in, looking for an entry move. Flipping the boat overhead, looking for an entry 3 on the boil line, but manages to retain. And that's super important to make sure you get the tricks to score. Doing a nice front loop. Looking at the corner there, looking to get that spin in, and then looking now for the McNasty, flipping the boat over her head, managing to retain in the feature. Looking to line up now for another trick.
Yeah, so she's already got 300 points on the board. That means that she's going to be putting into first seed.
Looking for some cartwheels now.
Just trying
This is such a strong ride from Tamsin.
Spending the whole time in the feature, which I think is quite a feat, particularly when pulling all of these tricks and when you've got less support on a C1 paddle blade.
I know, yeah. I would be falling all over the place in a C1, honestly. Their centre of gravity is a good bit higher than it is for the K1 paddlers. So the K1 paddlers are sitting on their bum on the seat that's almost on the base of the kayak. The C1s, they're kneeling up, so their centre of gravity is so much higher, which means that it is more tippy, but that does actually give you more leverage, and I'm told that it does make some tricks more actually easier, and certainly easier to sort of get the leverage.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's why when you watch a lot of these C1 paddlers, the snappiness of their tricks and the amount of energy in them is really something else.
Oh yeah, a C1 back loop. Something about a C1 back loop, the leverage they have is it's really satisfying to watch.
Absolutely, and speaking of snappy tricks, we have Otty Robinson-Shaw dropping down now. She has a lot of competition experience. I believe double world champion at the last event. So she's going to be looking to improve on her performance from yesterday, although she's already in #1 seed. So we'll see how she does today.
So she's lining herself up, looking for an entry move. She'll be looking for what we call an entry 3, which is usually an entry McNasty, so flipping the boat up over your head, getting some air, and there's the actual McNasty manoeuvre, getting plenty of air, trying to show the judges, like give them no doubt so that all the judges give you the full score that you possibly could. Trying to get a bit of bonuses on there. You see the switch of the paddle there. So I mentioned earlier, these paddlers can, they've only got one paddle, but they can choose which side they hold it on, and if they want to, they can switch sides. So Otty chooses to switch sides to do one of her McNasties. She's looking for that back loop. She wants to show us that beautiful back loop.
Spending the full time in the hole for a ride. I mean, absolutely brilliant performance. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of deliberation from the judges as they start to think about, what they want to score. We've got a provisional score of 336. My guess is that it will change slightly before the score is finalised.
Okay, so Otty, 336.67, so it's super close there between Tamsin and Otty at the top, just 3.33 in it, so that's just one judge not giving one of the bonuses or a spin or something like that. So that's, super close at the top, and then we've got a joint third place as well, with 250 points each for Bevan and Annika. But remember, it's only one ride that counts, and each of these athletes still have one to go. So we're going back round to the top of the order now for second rides, second opportunity to put a bigger score down on the scoreboard to move yourself up the rankings and into that top 5 for the final. Remembering that this is the first ever ladies C1, so to be part of that final would just be really quite an honour. What a historic moment.
Yeah, she's just spinning around on that left-hand side of the hole now, trying to set up for her next trick. Unfortunately flushing, she's going to try and make her way back up. She's got 19 seconds, plenty of time to get back in the hole and scoring some points.
Yeah, switching her paddle blade around to help her get into the feature. The top of the eddy, getting across that boil line and into the feature, can be really tricky, and it's particularly difficult when you, as Lucia is, holding your paddle on the left-hand side. So that is really quite a tricky skill in itself, for almost more difficult than some of the tricks they're doing in the feature. Okay, so I think Lucia, unfortunately, we won't be seeing her in the final, but we're going back around to the top for second ride for Rebecca Green, who's sitting just above the feature, waiting for the thumbs up from our head judge. She got a pretty strong first ride, so she's sitting currently in 5th place, so she will be making it into the finals if none of the other paddlers manage to get a score higher than her. In fact, no, actually, we do know. We do now know those 5 paddlers are in the final. So these are glory rides. We're just working out now what order they're going to be in the final.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So all of those who were in the last heat, we'll just look at the future now.
What an entry move from Becky there. Really convincing flick over her head on that entry.
We're going for a lovely front loop, dead straight, which is really important. That's what the judges are looking for. They're looking for calm, controlled tricks that show a real level of skill and precision. She's moving over to that right-hand side of the feature now, trying to pull a McNasty. Unfortunately, flushing. She's got 17 seconds to get herself back up into the hole.
Yeah, the crowd are cheering her on her way back up into the feature. She's just got a few seconds left. I'm not sure if she's going to make it back in time, but she has. As things stand, it looks like she's increased her score just slightly there with that really impressive entry move. We actually haven't seen many entry moves from the C1 ladies that have been that airborne, I would say.
Yeah, no, it's just incredible, and it kind of goes to show what we were talking about earlier, the amount of leverage that you have in a C1 boat just to really push the boat where you want it, and the amount of snappiness that you can really generate and the power.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's Rebecca Green, 150 points on that second ride, so slight improvement on her score, but still in 5th place. But 5th place is enough to give her the last spot in the finals of this first ever Ladies C1 World Championships.
Yeah, so next we have Annika dropping into the hole. She's from Germany, and she says that one of her favourite places to paddle is Plattling, which is a good thing, because we have the World Championships there in 2025, so she'll be looking forward to that one. She's just dropping into the hole now, going for an entry 1. Just borderline, maybe, yes, she've retained, and moving over to that right-hand side of the hole, trying to go for a McNasty, managing to stay in the hole again. Really important that you stay in there, because then you've got the opportunity to score points.
Yeah, that's right. As we've seen quite a few times in this semi-finals, if you do flush out, it takes quite a while to paddle your way back up the eddy, and during that whole time, you're not able to score any points. So beautiful loop there from Annika. Looking now for the McNasty, flipping the boat over her head. Really lovely stuff. She's looking to try and improve her score from her first ride, which will move her up the rankings. Now, the advantage of that, lovely clean cartwheel there. Now, the advantage of moving up the rankings, even though she's already got her place in that final, is the later you go in the final, the more tactical that is, because you get to see the other paddlers go first and know what you need to do. So the way we do it is we actually go reverse order. So in the finals, if you've gone into the finals in first place, you get to watch every other paddler first to work out what you need to do in your ride.
So Annika coming in with a score of 270 points. That moves her into 3rd position for this event, so she should be very happy with that. We have 2 more paddlers to come, and they will be fighting over the first seed position.
Yeah, that's right. So currently Tamsin is in 1st place from the first rides, and Otty is in 2nd place, but only by 3.33, which is, I don't think it actually can be any closer.
No, I don't think it can. And they're both also close teammates, so both representing Team Great Britain. They'll spend many team training sessions down here.
Yeah, in fact, they were warming up together. Again, we've been talking a lot about this sort of friendship and community spirit that is in freestyle kayaking. It really isn't sort of a nasty atmosphere between competitors. It's actually really supportive. And yeah, Tamsin and Otty really epitomising that. They were all smiles, dancing around in the car park this morning, getting themselves warmed up when I made my way down here. So Tamsin now getting herself lined up. She's current leader, so she knows that basically she's just fighting it out right now to try and get herself in that top spot. She knows Otty's going to be looking to improve her score to be able to go last in the final.
Yeah, unfortunately flushing on the entry move, but she's going to be making her way back up into the hole. She's got 30 seconds left, which is plenty of time to get some points on the board. Now, she has got the nice advantage of already being first at the minute as it stands, but Otty will, of course, be looking to take that first seed off of her. She's got a lovely loop there just to get some points on the board. She's going to be moving back over to that right-hand side to set up. Going for a lunar orbit, which I think is the first time that we've seen that trick attempted during this class.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't even know that Tamsin has been attempting those, and that's a pretty good attempt there. It doesn't look like they've given it on the score sheet, but she'll be stoked with that.
Yeah, exactly. So she'll take the first ride through to kind of determine her seeding for the next run, which means that Otty Robertson-Shaw has 340 points to beat.
Yeah, and if anyone can beat 340, it is Otty. So Otty knows she has made it through to the finals. The job is done, but Otty will be wanting to go through in first place. I know Otty. And also, like I said before, Otty really is always just competing with herself. She always just wants to put down the best ride she possibly can, and she just wants to show the crowd what she can do. She wants to really show what women can do in this C1 category. She really takes great pride in being here in this first ever C1 Ladies Freestyle World Championships. In fact, Otty was one of the main kind of driving forces to make it happen. As Alex said earlier, it really wasn't on the program not that long ago, and it was only confirmed as being added onto this program just a short while ago, just a year or so ago. So really it's really quite a fresh thing, and something that Otty has been a real part of, making sure that there's equity in our sport.
Just dropping into the hole, going for an entry 3, and now pulling a lovely McNasty. Very calm. She knows what she needs to do. Going for a big old loop.
Oh, that was plenty of air on that one.
looking for the huge bonus. All the points matter. Going for that right-hand side McNasty.
Yeah, switching her paddle over.
Getting a little bit caught on the side of the wave. Unfortunately flushing. She's now going to have to make it back up to the hole. She's got 12 seconds. It's going to be tight. But you can tell that she definitely wants to be back in there and scoring points. And just hitting the eddy line now. Back into the hole and trying to get a cartwheel right at the end.
But her second ride looking even stronger than her first one. So, oh, there we go. That beautiful C1 back loop just for show. Like I said, Otty always keen to show what she can do, what women can do, and really champion our sport. So the judges still finalising that final ride score from Otty, but I can say with confidence that she'll be going through to the finals in that pole position, which means she has the advantage of being able to watch the other paddlers in the final go before her and to know exactly what score she needs to beat. So there we have it, 513.33 as the second ride score, and the one that does count to her ranking for the final. So that should mean we have, there we go, ladies and gentlemen, we have the first ever Ladies C1 finalists: Otty Robertson-Shaw, Tamsin McConkey, Annika Schauser, Rebecca Green and Lucia Hacker. So again we're seeing, oh no, sorry, that was the results from this semi-final round. So sorry, the rankings then, the ladies going through into the first ever C1 final: Otty Robertson-Shaw, Tamsin McConkey, Annika Schauser, Bevan Butler and Rebecca Green. Very exciting final there. I feel like we really have seen the best paddlers make it through there. We're going to see some big McNasties, big loops, and maybe even some lunars and back loops, looking at what we've just seen there.
I know, incredible. And it just goes to show the amount of skill that these paddlers have, and it's wonderful that they have the opportunity to showcase it here at this event today. I think it's moving in a really positive direction. And I'm very excited to see what the finals has. So the format changes a little bit for our final round. So we have 3 runs, best one counts. So we'll see more risk, bigger tricks, and hopefully higher scores.
Yeah, and that's where kind of like having earned your position higher up the rankings and being able to watch the other paddlers and see what they score really does mean something in the finals. So 3 rides, best one counts. So similar to this semi-final format, except we get another round. And what we tend to see in the finals is obviously it's kind of really is go big or go home at that moment. You've got nothing more to lose. You are there, you're in the finals, you're fighting it out for those medals. And so people really do tend to sort of give it their all and go for their biggest tricks and try and put down a biggest, most impressive ride they can, link some tricks together, go for all those bonuses off the judges. And so we quite often see the rankings change several times through each of the rounds. It's so super exciting to watch.
Yeah, exactly. With that, we'll be taking a short break for the. We'll just be waiting for the men's preliminary rounds to start. So that will take up the majority of the day today. So that'll be starting at 10:10. Make sure you join us back for that. Then at 4:40 we'll have the women's squirt semi-finals. So I believe it's the same format as this, but up in the top pool, where the squirt competitors can attain some slightly different moves like mystery moves, so they can get the entire boat underwater, which should be a great watch. And then following that, we'll have the men's squirt semi-finals at 5:40.
Yeah, so action-packed day here in Nottingham. So yeah, as we say, it's a men's prelims. So in the K1 category, we've got some big names in that category. The home nation, Great Britain, has a really strong team. All 5 of their paddlers looking super strong here in their home venue in the Twin Wave here in Nottingham. But we've also got a really strong crowd coming in from overseas. We've got a couple of really good American paddlers. So obviously Dane Jackson, who's just made it out of quarantine. He's been at every training session available to him in the last 24 hours. And then we've also got Mason Har Greaves, who is the current junior world champion, but is now in the senior category. He's been here for quite a while training and is looking really hot, doing lots of big air and link tricks. Anyone else you're looking forward to seeing, Alex?
Yeah, I think probably kind of one of the interesting ones will be also seeing Eric Jackson. So he's been around the freestyle scene. I think in his bio it says that the first Worlds he competed at was in 1993. Imagine that. I
think in 1993. Wow. So most of the people here probably weren't born then, with Alex.
No.
So certainly the people competing in the junior category wouldn't have been born in when Eric was doing his first ever World Championships, which is kind of a bit mind blowing. So that's going to be cool to watch. But also of the same era, we have Clay Wright as well. So the USA men's team is quite interesting. Sort of 2 generations in one field, just in the senior category, let alone taking into account the junior category there.
Yeah, of course, and then we have kind of some of the European paddle as well. We have Fontaine Masso, who won in 2017 in
also
Argentina.
Previous world champion.
Very, very explosive, very fiery paddler, and I'm sure he'll be wanting to put down a big ride as well. Yeah,
and then we've also got the current European champion from Ireland. We've got David Mcclure, who has been looking on fire in here. So he'll certainly be a contender as well.
Absolutely. So we'll be joining you back again at 10:10 for the men's preliminary rounds.